So I served a mission for my church. I went about 5 years ago, and I've been back for over 3. And when I was there, so I went to Los Angeles, and when I was there, I served like about 6 months of my time in a town outside of Compton. And I lived there with these girls that were missionaries with me, and our next door neighbor was this man named Pasquale. And he was an ice cream truck driver, and he was so good to us. He just took care of us and always made sure we were safe, and he was just kind and good. And we'd been there for about 4 months at this point, and I mean, we saw him every day. We saw him early in the morning when he would like stock up his truck, and then he'd always get home at like 9:30, 10 at night, and so he'd work 12, 14-hour days. And I remember we were getting back late one day too. He'd been teaching somebody, but we came back and we saw him, and he's like, "Sisters, come inside, I have ice cream for you." And he was just so nice. And so we get there, and he just starts telling us about how grateful he was that he had a job and that he had a family that was healthy. And I couldn't believe how gracious he was. He was just so grateful. And me, I look at his life, and I was so just ungrateful. I mean, he was working 14 hours a day, not making a lot of, I mean, he was an ice cream truck driver in Compton. He's not making money at all. And I remember that night just being like, when I get home, when I'm done with my mission, I'm going to get home, and I'm going to figure out a way that I can make enough money so that I could pay for Pasquale to live for the rest of his life. And because I mean, I had missionary money, right? So we're dirt poor as well at that time. But I just remember thinking, like, I will figure it out. I'll figure out how I can just pay for him to have a better life. And I got home, and I realized just how that the goal was noble, maybe, or I don't even know what word to use, but it wasn't realistic, and that it wouldn't do him any good for me to write him a $100, $200, $300, $500,000, $1 million check and just write it off, because he was no different. His business was no different after that $100,000 check than it was before. And when that $100,000 ran out, then him or his family wasn't ever any better of it. It was just the money was out, and they were in the same situation as they were before. And so I got back, and I just thought there has to be a better way, like there has to be a better way than me figuring out how to earn money and then just giving it to people. There has to be a way to teach people how to not only make money, but to make money recurring. And to use that recurring systems to free up time. My heart ached. I mean, he just loved his family, this Pasquale. He just loved his family so much, but he never got to spend time with them. And he didn't spend time with them because he didn't love them. He didn't spend time with them because he did love them. And all he did was to help earn money, right? It was just this tiny house, and he was living in there. I mean, I was in there with one other girl, and I thought it was cramped, and he was in there with his 3 daughters and his wife and his grandbaby. And I came home, and I thought there has to be a better way. And so I just studied, and courses later, and tens of thousands of dollars in coaching and products later, I'm so grateful to have found that there are ways to automate your conversions and your sales and your marketing, so that you don't just have to do this huge push to get money or this huge push to get customers, but that you can set up your system so that it becomes this recurring automated thing. And I think the most fun thing for me has been able to help people like Pasquale, who runs an ice cream truck, or help the chiropractor down the road, or help an 8-figure e-commerce store, right? Because these principles are the same. At the end of the day, everybody wants their sales to be automated, and for their customer relationships to be automated, and for different things to be automated, not so that they can just have it off their hands, but so that they can use their time to do things of more value. And for Pasquale, that was spending time with his family. And for other people or other business owners, it might be throwing out a new product, or it might be launching a new thing, or even just focusing on different elements of your company. But for me, I just feel so indebted to that experience and to Pasquale for his example to me, because it inspired me to learn how to help people in not only ways that are significant, but ways that are lasting. And that's meant the world to me.